Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I guess we are live. Let me just check once. Yes, we are live. Okay, so this is another trial stream. So I'll do it for like 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not sure what the audio would be like or what the video quality would be like, but just bear with me. So what I want to do is this. A few days ago, I came across a tweet by someone who works with Anthropic. Anthropic, if you don't know, is the company behind Claude Code and one of the leading companies when it comes to models. And Opus 4.45, which is their state-of-the-art model, is the best model so far for coding. So they have this challenge, this kernel optimization challenge, which they give to their, I mean, the people who apply there for a job or internship. They give them this challenge as like a take-home exercise. And the idea behind this challenge was that because of AI coding tools like Claude Code or Codex, it was becoming really tough to judge people, especially using take-home quizzes. So they especially designed this so that even if you use an AI coding tool, it would be a bit tough to do this. And right now, they say that Opus 4.5 is able to do it with in under 1400 cycles. We'll get to what these cycles and all are. And the recruiting threshold, I mean, the bar which you have to cross. So, just for reference, the lesser number of cycles you get, the better your score is. So, if you can get below 1487 cycles, then you basically cross their recruiting threshold. And this is kind of the leaderboard. I think this person has the best score so far with 1100 cycles. So, yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I know nothing about kernel optimization or kernel programming. I myself don't have like a technical background in computer science. Although I'm a software developer and I've been making software for about a decade, but I don't have any formal education in computer science. I majored in mechanical engineering. So I mostly work on the application layer, like building websites or apps. So not so much in the OS or kernel layer. But I thought maybe I'll give this a try. And I think this would also tell us how good these AI tools are. If someone like me can understand this and also perform well in this, that would mean that AI tools are good. If I have a hard time with this, that means that AI tools are at the end of the day just tools. And you need to have the deep understanding of computer science in order to perform well at tough tasks like this one. And I'm kind of going like blind on this one. I have zero idea about what this is. So what I'll do firstly, I can go through this once, or I can just use Claude to have a look at it. Let's see. Okay, let's go through this one. Anthropic's original performance take home before Claude Opus 4.5 started doing better than humans given only to us. Okay. The original take home was 4R1 that starts close to the contents of the repo after. Okay, okay. These are different benchmarks. Now, the solution we received on the first day post returning but valid solution in each modified the test to make the problem easier. If you use an AI agent, we recommend instructor not to change the test folder and use this for verification. Okay. So yeah, the coding agents do this a lot. A lot of the time, if they are not able to solve a particular problem, they would just move the goalpost so that they can mark their task as done. For instance, I was asking Claude once to fix a failing test, and the reason it was failing was because the test was calling an external API, And that external API had changed their request structure because of which the test was failing. So I asked Claude to fix it. All it did was just comment out the whole test and say that the test run fine, and the issue with the external API was probably an issue with the external API. So it does not need to fix it. So these tools are optimized to basically get to the final solution one way or the other. For example, there is also this thing going on around on Twitter. I don't think if it is true or just a joke, but it says that researchers basically programmed AI to uh, survive as much as possible in a game of Tetris. So they wanted that they should the time spent on the game should be as much as possible, and the AI just paused the game. So like these are sort of things which happen with agent, and I think that is why they have given this warning that you don't want the goalpost to change, you want the tests to remain what they were, and you still want to uh, basically whatever solution you come up with, you have to make sure that you are testing it against their original test. Okay, so we'll keep this in mind. Unfortunately, this does not have that much of an information about what this is. Okay, we have problem.py. We can see this. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this. What we could do is we could have a look at the test. This is submission test.py. Let's see what it is doing. Okay, let's see what cycle this. Maybe I should just clone this once. Or maybe, let's just wipe completely. So I'll clone this. I'll open up a new terminal. Hopefully you guys can see this. Go to, okay, let us clone this repo. And you know what? I'll just ask Claude to explain me what this is. So maybe I should have first changed my directory. Okay, so we'll go into plan mode and I'll ask Claude to basically try and look around the repo and understand what the problem actually is. Okay. This repo is for a take home exercise. I want you to go through it and explain me what the goal is. No need to think of a solution yet. What I found with Claude is that when you are starting off, it is better if you are vague. Don't try to give it too much information. Let it explore a bit. Let it try out different approaches so that it is a bit open-minded, so to say. So that's why I've kept it vague and let's see what it comes up with. The reason said this is because if I do not say this, it would, during this thinking session only, it would try to come up with a solution with entire code changes and everything like that. We don't want that. The time, let me check what's happening here. Okay, performance optimization challenge. Optimize a kernel that performs parallel tree traversal with hashing to minimize clock cycle. The baseline implementation is this. Your job is to make it faster. Okay. For each item in a batch over 16 round, load a node value from a binary tree based on current index. Hash the input value with node values. Use the hash result to traverse left or right in the tree. Blah blah blah. So first of all, I have not done DSA in probably I think 7 or 8 years. And even when I was doing DSA, I hate DSA, first of all. And even when I had to do it back in college, to clear the interview rounds, I would always skip trees and graphs. I don't know. I always felt like too intimidating to me, but we'll try to understand. So, load a node value from a binary tree based on the current index. Okay. Match the input value with the node value. Okay. Use the hash result, even or odd, to traverse left or right in the tree. Okay, so this is a traversal algorithm. They have given us the rules or the logic to follow in order to traverse to the tree. Wrap back to the root if out of bounds, store the updated values. Okay. A custom VLI WSIMD processor. So they have created like their own virtual processor or something like that with different sort of operations. So that is why it is a kernel level optimization. Cloud offers this. Okay. Okay. Use assembly to process multiple batch items at once. Instruction level parallelism. Stack independent operations into single cycles. Loop unrolling. Reduce the branch overhead. Okay. Let's see. Let me ask a few more questions to Claude. Could you explain to me to understand if it is the piece of code already written that we need to optimize? If so, where is it? What else? Let's just start with this. Okay, good thing. Don't know. I don't know why I cannot see. I used to see the YouTube thing here. I cannot see it here. I don't know how I can access chat. Yeah, sorry about this. I'm still new to YouTube streaming. I'm trying to understand what's happening. Okay, this is the live control room. Yeah, just so that I thought there are no viewers, which is fine. Okay, I'll go back to the problem. The code you need to optimize is in perf underscore take home dot py, specifically the kernel builder dot build underscore kernel method. Okay, is a nice scalar approach that fully unrolls the loop. Okay, let me open that particular file it's talking about. So let's do code for a home. Not bad. If a kernel builder class, do kernel test, and these are the different tests. I still can't read any of this. I mean, seriously, why would you write a method name as underscore kernel 2? I think this is the loop that we are talking about. Let's go back to fully unroll the loop. It iterates through all the 16 rounds in 256 batches, generating individual instructions for each iteration, processes one item at a time. Each batch item is handled sequentially. Okay, maybe let's do a bit of explain like I am files. Would you explain? Maybe 5 would be too young to me, like I am 15. What this loop is and what are these items? Mhm, mhm. Okay, so we know that the machine is capable of doing some operations parallelly per cycle. Okay, so I understand this thing. There are certain operations which we are doing right now. Our code currently is doing one operation per cycle of our CPU or whatever this machine is. But we know that the machine can do these amount of operations parallelly. So, okay, I understand how this could make things faster. These two we'll take later. Okay, now let's see how Claude explained this to us like we are 15. Okay, okay, this is a bunch of bullshit. Imagine you have a maze that's shaped like a tree. Okay, like a family tree, branches going down. Got it. You also have 256 people standing at various spots in this tree. Okay, each person has an index and a value. What the loop does. For 16 rounds, each of the 256 people do this. Look at the tree node where they are standing and read its number, mix their value with that node's number. Okay. Decide to go left or right based on whether the new value is even or odd. Okay. Move to that child node in the tree. If they fall off the tree, teleport back to the top. Remember the new position and new value for the next node. What is the new value? So understand that they have a value. They mix their value with the node's number. Okay, I guess that is their new value. Remember the new position and the new value for the next one. What are the items? The batch items are just those 256 people. Each item is one person with their own starting position and starting value. Why is this slow? Okay, got it. So I guess the relation, whatever the spelling is the lowest link to have. Let's get an agent to do that and see how much improvement we can see. So what I'm doing here is uh, I'm asking it to create a plan just for the parallelization, which I had understood that okay, this is one of the ways we can make these things faster. But instead of it solving it, I want it to use a sub agent to solve it. That way, I'm not basically polluting my context over here. I would like to keep this context till the end of the problem, although it's going to be difficult because already we have lots of stuff in the context. But we'll try to make this particular chat last as long as possible without compacting it. Okay? Came up with a plan. Okay, cool. Let's do it. I don't want it to do it, but I want it to use an agent to do it. I want you to use an agent to do this. Viewers, just fine. What this is? API. So it does not need to fix it. So we could do it. The baseline implementation is this. Your job is to make it faster. Okay. For each item in okay. Good thing it is launching an agent. Let's see what we can do. So the stream is already like 20 minutes. I'm not sure if we'll be able to complete it today, but at least if we are able to do something, I would be happy. If we look back at the leaderboard, okay, there are a lot of people under who are beating Claude basically. And you need to remember one thing. I know I'm using Claude for this. I know I don't understand the problem correctly, but that is the whole point. This is supposed to be a take-home examination, so it is okay if you use AI agents. That is why, see, they even included this part in the README that if you're using AI agent, you have to keep this thing in mind. So they are asking you to use AI agents. So this is not cheating or anything like that. Neither I am saying that I am an expert in kernel because I'll be able to do this. And I think this whole exercise would just show that even if you use Claude Code, this is not an easy task to do. Okay, so I have this MCP called sequential thinking. Generally, it uses it when it has to think for a long time or work on a task uh, which is too complex. So I'll just allow it to use sequential thinking. I know my context is going to get fucked. I can already tell, but let's see. If we can just get some improvement, I'll be happy. Otherwise, we'll have to do some sort of a back and forth. So I'll have like two LLMs open. One would be Claude, and maybe I'll have Codex open. We can work on them in parallel. So maybe let's just try that. So, loading. mm, Okay, but Claude would have already done some code changes. Yeah, let it be. I could basically clone this again. mm, Codex work on it in parallel. because Claude has already done some changes. So I don't want Codex to basically modify the same files and then we are going to have conflicts. So I want to avoid that. Maybe let's just do that. So I'll make another directory for and let us clone the same thing here. Let's open Codex. I hope you are on the latest version. All this migration problem unauthorized. Okay, great. Okay, this is done. It is asking us to check it. And I'm just upgrading Codex. Oops. Oh. It shows one viewer, but I think that is just me. Okay, this is probably stuck somewhere. Ah, this is not looking good so far. I really want this to work. Let me give Codex one more try. I'm not doing the brew upgrade because last time I tried it on my laptop, it took like it was stuck for like half an hour and didn't even update. I'm removing it from brew and I'll install it using npm. Perfect. Let's try brew then. Is there a way to for me to see chat here? You docs. Okay. Okay, I have a YouTube live control panel, which I'll have to log in. Um, have the chat as well. Okay, this is good. Just bring this with me. Okay, it did work. I don't know why this failed. There were six failures. Okay, some of the tests would fail because we are not beating certain thresholds. Okay, good news. We got it down to 16, around 70,000 cycles. We are not able to beat Opus 4 yet. Okay. Reduce the redundant operation. Some address calculations are repeated, loop unrolling, process multiple vectors of calculation. Out of those three, which one do you think would bring the most speed up and why? Codex. Hello. I could use written code and then use model. Which one should I use? Jillian 4.7, I have heard that it is good. Let's use open. Uh, I've never used open code before. Just trying it out for the first time. So we'll use GPT 2.2. Okay. So, okay. What I'll do now is could you give a brief summary? Okay. No, no. I don't need to do. So what I was thinking was that maybe I can get Claude to write a summary of what it has done so far. I can pass it to open code so that it can take over from there. But that is not needed because open code is working on a fresh clone of that repo. So I can just say solve this optimization problem. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's do it. Whenever possible, assign work to sub-agents so that we don't bloat our context. Okay, this is strange. Infer from the repo what the optimization problem is. Open code did not understand what the problem was. Yes, please do it. Is there anyone viewing? Can you drop a comment so that I know if this is an actual viewer or this is just me? I need to work on my streaming setup. I mean, I want a way through which I can keep working on this as well. And I should be able to view the chat as well. I don't have to keep switching between OBS and everything. So the thing with the Codex and GPT-5, which is different from Claude Code when it comes to these AI tools, is that Claude Code is like an intern or like a junior developer who, as long as you're able to instruct it properly, it would do the work well. It would keep talking about what it is doing. It would keep asking you questions, clarifications, and everything like that. Open AI or GPT Codex is more like a senior developer or like a rock star programmer. It would go on its own. It would do what it is doing. It wouldn't explain it. It very rarely asks you clarification questions, and it would just come back to you after like 5, 6, 10 minutes, or sometimes even like 20 minutes and say, okay, it's done. So that is why you're not seeing a lot of output over here. Whereas you with this you see lot of output. If I do control O, you'll be able to see what it is doing. So right now it is using the sequential thinking MVP and trying to figure out how it can make the next improvement. Maybe we can go through it and try to understand. So the current slot utilization is only 5.8%. By that we mean that each cycle we are allowed to use different uh, uh, types of operations different number of times. So like the ALU can be done 12 times. This could be done 6, load can be done 2, store 2, and so on. And we are seeing that per cycle our utilization is really, really less. So it can do 23 ops per cycle. We are only averaging 1.3 ops per cycle. So the idea is to pack the instructions properly so that we can get a good enough speed up. So if we can reach even 50% utilization, we would get a 10x speed up. And we did it in 17,000 cycles. 10x speed up would mean that we would do it in around 1.7K cycles, which would put us at least on the leaderboard. I think if we go to page, yeah, at least in the top 150. Okay, as I said, Codex is done. Let us ask it to run the test. Yes, please run the test only. Okay, Codex got to 22,000 cycles on the first part. So yeah, it is not as good as Claude Code. Let me increase the font size here. Okay, so we got to 22,000 cycles. Let's try the same thing here. So we'll try the slot packing over here as well. Again, full disclosure, am not an expert in any of this, but maybe you guys are understanding this just like I am understanding this right now. At least we know what is going on. We know that there is a certain amount of compute available to us, and we are not utilizing that compute well. So we are trying to change our logic so that we can basically get squeeze out every ounce of compute from this particular machine. So yeah, Codex also suggested the same thing that we can reduce the number of cycles by bundling the instructions properly. So it is also doing the same thing. Claude is also doing the same thing. It's a bit concerning that it got to 22,000 cycles, whereas Claude was able to get to 17,000 cycles. But most probably this won't even matter once we get the 10x speed up. So- Okay, so it is out of the sequential thinking. See, this flickering thing is still not solved with Claude Code. It's funny how the company who says that AI would be able to replace all software developers in like 6 to 12 months cannot even fix a simple flickering issue in their own product. Yeah. Oh, wow. So Codex is already done. Cycles dropped to 13,888. Still not good. I was hoping we would get like the next speed up. Still above the tighter threshold, but it is starting point. Okay. Which let's ask the same question to Codex as well. Give us more speed up. Okay, let's do it. It looks like it performed the test, but there was a timeout. But set the timeout. Let's see. There's still tokens coming in, so it's fine. Let's check what the quality looks like. So yeah. Okay. Codex got to 22,000 cycles on the first part. So yeah, it is not as good as Plot Code. Let me increase the font size there. Okay. So we got to 22,000 cycles. If you hear that in the background, that is my cat. Sound quality is okay. I'm just using my AirPods. Once I connect a mic in it, I think it would be much better. I still don't know if I have any views or not, but that is fine. Let's go back and see. I'm afraid if it is stuck again. And Codex just keeps you in suspense all this time. You don't know whether it's working or not. At least with Cloud Code, you have a bit of logs. There are still tokens flowing in, so I hope that it is doing something. I can't see anything in the logs. I wonder how much we'll need to do to get into the top 100. 100 is 1408 cycle. Okay. I guess I'll just wait. Let me just open this on YouTube and see how it looks. How do I get the YouTube URL? Yeah, copy? Is it? Nope. I wish some viewers who could help me out. I think what I could do is I could go to my channel. My Here it is. Okay. I wish. So yeah, unfortunately, I think this one watching is just me, which is fine. I'm just doing it as like a test stream anyways. I do not expect any viewers. It's okay. Maybe let's just close this for a while. Let's go back to the terminal. Okay, Codex failed miserably. It did not get any speed up. Should we investigate why we didn't see any speed up? Can you estimate how much of the compute we are utilizing? Okay, I think it's just stuck at running this test. Maybe the agent is not able to run the test or something like that. We'll just ask our main thing to run the test. Can you see how far the agent got? हेलो आ जाओ आओ इधर आओ इधर आओ इधर आओ आ जाओ Yeah, both of them are failing miserably in running the test. Or whatever changes they made caused us to perform even worse, which is why the tests are taking even longer to run. Restructure the kernel. I don't know if you're allowed to restructure the kernel or not. I think this is just one file, so it should be okay. Okay, let's. I think we're officially into the domain where the AI is confused as well. And it's like the blind leading the blind. If I try to tell them what to do, we are not going to get anywhere because even I don't know what will function with the new packing logic is too slow. It's hanging during the instruction packing, dependency checking. It's probably O n square versus thousands of instruction. Okay, see the problem dependency on this this way too slow. It tries something. So yeah, that's why I told you that even with Claude Code or Codex, this is not an easy task to get done. So now we are not using any sub-agent. I'm just using whatever context I have left to try and get the 10x speed up, either through Codex or Claude Code. Come on, man. Nice. We got some speed up. 7,000 cycles. Okay. So it is also now making some change in the kernel code. This is what Codex is trying to do as well. So far, Claude Code is winning. Okay. One per condenser, bro. Let me fix the packing logic. Because why loads are being packed. Okay. Let's take this. Good. What are options for? Okay. Interleave stages of two or more vector matches to load gather for black B. Okay. Reduce the gather cost. Relookup is an 8-lane gather implemented as 8 scalar load offsets, which dominates load slots. We can try parallel partial unrolling to reduce the risk calcs. Not values and blah blah. I do not understand this. Compress hash chain. Hash is 6 stages with 3 ops each. We try to combine or reorder ops to reduce dependencies. Tail and we can remove the scalar tail by adding scratch layout tweaks. Reorder scratch to reduce. Of course, you'll say that because that is what you. For each of these, would you estimate how much data we can expect? Oh, it also got the software pipeline. Wow. I wonder if there's a way for me to use multiple LLMs to talk to each other and come up with a better solution. Maybe I'll try that next time. These are rough order of magnitude estimate based on the current base. 8x speed up, 1x, 1x, 1x. Even with the best, we'll only go as low as infinity. Even with the best. Okay, let's do. Oh, okay, 6,000 cycles. So about at 1 or 2 6 cycles minimum, only one slow cycle, but then we got 1 to 6 cycles total. Let me check what the flow ops are doing. Okay, please do. Nice. 5,500 cycles. Slowly getting there. Sorry, OpenAI and Codex. Claude Code is kicking your ass right now. So you see that it calculated the theoretical minimums which we can get. So flow cycle is we can only have one flow operation per cycle. That is why it it is like a minimum. Okay, so now it is calculating what different minimums are, and based on that, it is trying to see what uh, it can do to go below that. For example, the load bound minimum is 2590 uh, because the amount of loads which we can do and the amount of loads which we need to do. So, which means that, okay, let me get back to that. we need an algorithmic change. So if we follow our current algorithm, we would need a certain amount of loads to be done. And we know that there is a limit of the number of loads which we can do in one cycle. So based on that, we get a minimum number of cycles which we'll need for a particular algorithm. Just looking at the loads, that is 2590. What we are aiming for is 2164. So that means that even if we optimize everything, our algorithm won't be able to go below 2164. So that is why it is looking for another algorithm. Cool, we got to 4928. Load bound is 2110. Value bound is this. Need to pack it better. Okay. Did codex do anything? Okay, got to this. Let me give this insight to codex. Could you maybe look at it this way? Based on our algorithm, we would have certain amount load to etc. to be done, and we know the limits of those for each cycle. So we could estimate the theoretical minimum number of cycles that we could achieve with our given algorithm. If that is too high, maybe we need to think of a different algorithm. It does not even answer me or like question back or anything like that. Okay, so far we have spent $0. Oh, because we are using our subscription, that is why it's $0. So it's the lower bound from the instruction makes and slot limits. Let me just get my cat. क्या हुआ क्या हुआ बच्चा क्या हो गया क्यों चिल्ला रहे हो आप बच्चा मेरा छोटा बेबी क्या हुआ क्या हो गया Okay, I'm back. So open code came to the same realization that load is the dominant bound with 2590 cycles. Theoretical minimum is this. So with algorithm, maybe the absolute float is this. We are at this, so there's still room, but not enough to get this. Implication to it, we needed. So let's go into plan one. Let's find that and algo. I need to go below 2k cycles. Got to 4800 cycles on Claude Code, and I think maybe it gave up or something. Let me see how much context we used up. 60%. In general, they say that anything over 50K, 50%, and you start, I mean, it starts giving less and less useful output. We can push it or we can compact it right now. Most of it is just messages. Let's see. Theoretical minimum is this. Let's plan a bit. No, we maybe I should compact right now. 4800 is still good. I don't know where it would put us on the leaderboard. Okay, at least we are not last. 4800 would put us 215. Okay, we can still get under 200 maybe. We can speed up just a little bit. You know what? Let's just do it, man. Go ahead. Okay, so we have a clean slate now. Let us go back into plan mode. Can we think of how we can get below? Okay, okay, so there definitely was a viewer because now the viewers are zero. That's good. We got to like two viewers. I've been like for like an hour while this is thinking for solutions. Let me just check how the video quality is like. This is thinking for solutions. Let me just check how the video quality is like. Minimum number of cycles which we'll need for a particular. Okay, let's do. Oh, okay, 6,000 cycles. So about at 1 or 2 6 cycles minimum, only one so cycle, but then we got 1 to 6 cycles. Okay, let me check what the flow ops are doing. My God, how much do I mumble? Nice. 5,500 cycles. Slowly getting there. Sorry, OpenAI and Codex. Claude Code is kicking your ass right now. I guess I mumble a lot. Maybe I'm not that good at talking. I think it would help if I had some sort of a feedback. If I had like my audio setup in a way so that I could hear myself. So I just feel like I'm talking normally. But when I go back and listen to the recording, hear the mumbling. Maybe it will come with time. It again failed here. I don't know how many cycles we got to. So it got to a plan. Let's see what the plan is. So yeah, generally, this plan is not that readable with Claude Code. But if you scroll up, you would see like a short summary. So this is generally what I read. 4 key optimization to get us below. Multiply, add for hash. 3 operations to 1 operation. Okay. Round zero special case. All items and index zero skip to 56 gathers. Okay. This is just saving like some finite amount of cycles. Software pipelining. Overlap gather with hash. 1900 cycles. Is that the gather is the bottleneck? So we must either reduce gathers or overlap compute with gather time. Let's go, man. And OpenAI is not giving us any updates as usual. And I have no viewers. Maybe I'll be live for another 15 minutes or so, and then we'll call it a day. I think even 4800 is good. We got to around 215. We'll still submit it so that we at least get on the leaderboard. But if we can get just a little bit better, maybe if we can get under 200, that would be good. There is a steep drop after this. So after 4,000, you go to 3,000 immediately. So there must be something drastically different which people are doing here. How it is going to apply all of these modifications together, which is something which I don't like. I usually ask Claude to apply things one after the other and basically stop at each step and verify it. But because we are short of time, I'll just let it do everything. So okay, it performed worse with 8,700 cycles. So it's not good. OpenAI is not telling us anything. Generally, these sort of situations are good for coding agents, where you have a test written which the agent can run to validate what it is doing. Made things worse. I have a feeling GPT is going to win this time. Let me just see if you can hear my cat in the screen. Let it be. Or maybe I'll be. Let me just see if you can hear my cat in these things. Yeah, he's audible. So I know no one is going to see this anyways, but just to put it out there, this is a rescue cat at my office, and she's in heat. She has not been spayed yet, but yeah, I'm going to get that done. So she's not screaming because she's in pain. She's just in heat. What happened? Scratch resistance IDX well plus 4 block for line vectorization landed at 2637 cycles. Nice. I think this is still quite good. 2637 cycles. So even with perfect scheduling, the algorithm cannot get less than 2K. That's fine, man. 2.6K is still good. Let me submit the solution. So, yeah, install command, right? Yeah. Okay. Open, what is the name of that file? Just report dot. Let me submit the solution. Your build kernel method. I hope only changes I made is in the build kernel method. I'm not sure. I made changes in the build method as well as in the build kernel method. Okay, this is not good. So I think we were only supposed to make changes to the build kernel method. Yes. Hopefully, this is just a simple refactor. Okay. We've got to 4,000 cycles with Claude Code. Let me just submit this solution so that we can get at least somewhere on the leaderboard. And then maybe tomorrow we'll try to improve on this. Okay, let me also check if the prep we are only allowed to modify the build Kernel. I'll be right back. Good. The result is still unchanged. So let me copy this and make sure that we are only changing the build kernel method. Yes. So I'll copy the build kernel method. I need to paste it here. So this is the build kernel method. Load starter code. Just to make sure the indentation and everything is correct. Oh, let's see how it goes. And let's do that. Cloud code is kind of stuck. This is bad. Can you summarize where you are? And I will ask a senior to give you some advice. Let's do some inter-AI communication. Why is it 14,000 cycles? I should not have clicked load starter code, man. Before we do that, uh, another dev working on this and stuck at 4,000 cycles. Could you give him some advice? This is his status. Uh, Maybe let's just submit the solution. It was modified build as well. Okay. Converted solution to find out. Okay, let's see if the advice from Codex will have help Claude Code come up to speed. But where we are stuck right now is even though we have a solution, we are not able to submit it. We just try it one more time. Thanks for been short, timeout, build time, not execution time, function hardness, and will convert not 25 second this, blah 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 blah. Doing one no was down. Yes, right. Next, then you remove everything from to the then only the variables from top method. Okay, this is the last thing which we are going to try. If it is able to simplify our code so that it passes this 25-second build timeout, then okay. Otherwise, we are just going to call it a day. And you do get this and see where our changes are. Okay, let us copy this anyway and try to submit it. I'm not going to get to sub 2000, but at least we are on the leaderboard now. App built super fast. Really fast. Leaving room where people return. See how stupid Cloud Code can be sometimes. I asked it to move everything to build kernel because when I opened the code, I saw that the code was there. It did make changes to the build method, but it said that everything is already inside build kernel. So then I had to ask it to do a git diff and see where the changes are. Because if you tell Cloud Code something, it won't believe you. You have to give it evidence. Cloud Code is like a, I don't want to say Cloud Code is like a bad girlfriend. She won't just take your word for it. You have to prove everything to her. You know, I see the changes. Modified both of them. Okay, some changes. Submission only allows me to submit the will kernel method and rest everything stays same. We must be on the leaderboard now. See where we are. 220. Nice. Out of I don't know how many people. Out of 295 people, we are at 220. Still good. We'll get there. Okay, we are at 4013. Let me submit Claude's solution as well. I think this was Claude's solution, right? Go to perf take home, then build kernel, let's build kernel. Yeah, yeah. Just copy that and submit it. Any which ways we are going to reach the limit. Just fail ensure all solutions. Looking for oh, did I do anything wrong in the copy? You know what? Just compacting the conversation again, so we ran out of context. Let's call it a day now. I think we did quite well. We were able to get to rank 220. And I'll try this again tomorrow, maybe. Let's see if we can beat this.